So there's so much going on that is not necessarily right, but let's not call it wrong. Because as I've said many times, we get to decide what and how we label those things that go on in our world. How many of us go through abnormal circumstances and we just flow through, and people say to you, I can't imagine, I don't understand, I just don't know how you did, do, are doing, going through, dealing with that. I could never see it because in their world they have labeled that as something extraordinary. And true enough, it might be outside of the norms of most people that you know. But I guarantee you, it doesn't make you exclusive, or it doesn't make you the only one. You might be part of an exclusive club, but it doesn't make you the only one dealing with or going through it. And so to that I say, take your choices to the next level. So if something right or wrong or you're undecided about, the way I see it, you have three choices. And this is a Hannibalism, if you will. You can repair, reinvent, or recycle. Now, some people would say reinvent, recycle, repair might be the same thing. Not necessarily. Because you can have a thing that you don't feel so positive about because you feel that it's broken. It's still working, but it's not working correctly. And you may not want to get rid of it. You may not have gotten to that point yet. So you say, I'm going to repair this. And so you set out to do such. So you add pieces, you get new pieces, or you add things into the mix, or you try to modify those things that are already going on. Now that's your repair. Now your reinvent is, this is something that has worked for me, but I want it to work differently. I want it to be something different. And so you go about finding ways to redress it. You want it to look different. You want it to smell different. You want it to appear different. And you know what? We're going to take this thing and I'm going to toss that word, and I'm going to say self. I'm going to say personal situations. We want them to smell different. We want them to taste different. We want them to sound different. Because whether or not they've been working for us or not, we have decided that we want it to be something else, but we still want it. Let me say that again. We want it, but we want it to feel, taste, smell, sound like something else. Maybe that's greed. Maybe that's our eyes fooling us to say that our grass is not as green as the grass we're looking at from a different angle, because over there the sun is shining slightly different. Maybe there's still some dew over there, and we're looking at it from a 40, 45 degree angle versus 180 degree angle. So therefore the light refracts differently. Now that's your reinvent. We want what we have, but we want it to feel, we want it to at least appear, smell differently. And then there is recycle. You get to a point to where you have decided that something is not worth repairing. We don't want it to be different. We want something different. So we get rid of it in hopes, in search of, maybe in need of something else. That one's simple. As harsh as it may be, that one is probably the most simple one in terms of protocol, but the reality of it is not, because we have to allow ourselves to get to the breaking point of whatever it is. So again, repair, reinvent, or recycle. But you have to make a choice. You can't stay in the same mood. Even if things are good, you can only stay in the same mood for so long, because at some point you have to turn a corner. Progressive companies are always seeking to refine the processes. How do they increase revenue? How do they make a better product? How do they make it more efficient? People that travel are always looking to go someplace else, or to go back to the same place that they enjoyed and do more of the things that they did, or experience those things that they did not. See, they still want it, but they want it differently. And then there are the people or situations where I've done this. I want to do something else. So I don't want that experience anymore. So they're recycling their experiences. I don't want to say throw away, but they're recycling their experiences. What are you doing? Are you doing anything, or are you trying to figure out what you need to do? And if you're trying to figure out what you need to do, then you probably already know. Because how long have you been there? What's your tolerance? How's your patience? What's your mental state? How's your emotions? See, we all ask the question of, how are you? But are we really concerned? Is it more about hearing ourselves ask the question of, how are you? See, a good listener makes other people feel as if they want to talk to them, because that person actually listens. Most people are talkers. They just want to hear themselves. It's an exercise. It's an exercise of self. It's an exercise of action to say, I did this, or I did something good. But let me go back to my question. Where are you? What part of the cycle are you in? What part of the decision paradigm are you in? Think about it. Because good, bad, or indifferent, something's going to have to change, correct? Thoughts from the basement.